Alright guys, welcome to the Badger Den Part 2. We're doing 2 today, 2 for 2, 2 for 2, because we got a lot going on, and a lot to get through. A lot needs to be spit out through here. So, we got the Dragon and the Donald. They're making some agreements. The big things that have come through this is there's now going to be a 55% tariff on Chinese goods. Please note, go back and look at my deep dive on tariffs. This is not as bad as you think it is regarding the 55%. This is generally only going to impact the complex goods that you purchase from China by about 1 to 2% max. So this is not going to be a huge impact on your budget. It is not great. But in the long run, again, we're trying to shift manufacturing from China back to the U.S. We want jobs back here in the U.S. I don't want to harp on this because, again, I did a long form content on tariffs. Link will be in the description to that video that explains tariffs and why this is not as bad as you might think it is or what the media is saying. It's actually going to be eventually a good thing. One thing that I did want to note on this is that China wanted to make sure that Chinese students will continue to get to use colleges and universities. Because, again, the Ivy League caters to the CCP. Didn't we just have the University of Michigan have multiple Chinese spies or terrorists bringing in bioterrorism goods, agroterrorism goods here in the United States? So I'm not sure why we're allowing this to happen. It just seems kind of odd given what has recently transpired. The NGOs, they are just warming up. They're just getting fired up. Protests are coming, guys. Everybody get ready. Get out your popcorn. Get your bats. Get your pepper spray. Get your and just get ready because it's going to be a hot one because we are at Summer of Love 2.0. Right now, protests have already been gathering in Philadelphia, San Fran, Seattle, Denver, Dallas, D.C., and Chicago. And what do those all have in common? Yes, that's right. They are Democrat shitholes. Sorry, but they are. Get out. I have a very liberal brother that is getting out of San Fran because he is realizing how awful it is. It is just absolutely awful. The problem with that is, guess what? Those same people that he voted for to create the S-hole, he's now going to vote for in this new area that he's moving to. And the cycle repeats. You're in a blue S-hole, you move to a red nice place, you vote in blue people turn it into a blue dim S-hole. Stop. Just make it stop. I want to call this one out because I think this is very interesting. Footage shared on social media shows a car driving into a crowd of protesters in Chicago on Tuesday. Not entirely true. People were surrounding the car, beating on it, and it freaked out the driver. Again, when somebody's beating on your car and there's multiple dozens of people trying to seemingly get into it, you fear for your life. That person being in Chicago probably was not allowed to have a gun because they're a lawful citizen of Chicago. If they were a criminal, they probably had a gun. So given they did not have any other means of defense, they drove off. But a nod to the Chicago PD, they say they haven't seen a report for the incident. So this was filmed, multiple people were hit, and there wasn't a report. Sure there wasn't. I see what you're doing there, Chicago PD. I see what you're doing there. Good on you. Good on you. So Abbott is letting the protesters know he'll be your Huckleberry. I'm not a huge fan of Abbott. He's done good and he's done bad. But right now, Dallas and Austin are seeing some demonstrations, and they're beginning to get out of hand. These people are trying to, again, take over roadways, stop interstate travel, stop people from actually going and living out their lives for no reason. Multiple protests coming on today and coming up this coming Saturday. Abbott is basically making a statement that he will continue to allow them to peacefully protest, but the moment it starts to get out of hand, he will not stop at just allowing them to continue, but he will put them behind bars. Good on Abbott. I love how he stated this. So initially he comes out and says, peaceful protest is legal. Harming a person or property is illegal and will lead to arrest. Texas Guard will use every tool and strategy to help law enforcement maintain order. That's like the nice, like, I'm going to try to be nice. I'm going to try to do it right. But as things continue to progress, he then did another statement. Peaceful protesting is legal, but once you cross the line, you will be arrested. FAFO. Good on Abbott. Good on Abbott. Indeed. F around and you will find out. We can only hope. Swing dat hammer. So Pam Bondi is coming out, and since California Newsom and the Soros bought DAs in California, they won't prosecute these people. These people that are destroying lives, destroying businesses, burning stuff to the ground, looting, they're not going to charge them. They're just going to let it continue. So Bondi's going to do whatever she can to actually prosecute these criminals and put them behind bars. Because when you have a small set of the population causing the majority of the crime, if you arrest those people, guess what? The crime is drastically going to reduce. Pam Bondi knows this, and so she's going after them. So with Mayor Karen Bass and Governor Gavin Newsom basically saying that this is a mostly peaceful protest, mostly peaceful, but, you know, they're just wanting to burn some cars and have some fun. It's being shown time and time again of looting, vehicle fires, and general chaos. Not only that, I'm getting reports now on X that there are now shootings going on where you have looters shooting at each other and shooting at the police. So this is continuing to escalate. There's also more investigations going on. I believe it was Rubio stating that there is some question about where the funds are coming from, specifically NGOs funded by the Biden administration, essentially, the left-wing crazy Marxist side of the deep state, and basically helping to perpetuate this type of violence. It's disgusting. It's awful. I mean, oh, look, they're having a great time. I mean, to them, this is Mexico. Viva la Raza, right? I mean, that's what they like to say. Mexican supremacists. So even though these are very peaceful, Mayor Bass is now enforcing a curfew in downtown LA. The curfew, though, happens to be only for very small amount of LA, so it probably won't be very effective. Not only that, she's not actually trying to enforce it, so it's just, again, her trying to do putting lipstick on a pig. Pam Bondi has come out and stated that we're the ones keeping California safe. If Gavin Newsom won't do it, we will. Today, we want them to declare, because they haven't declared it, an economic disaster with all the business affected by the unrest, which would have allowed the U.S. Small Business Administration to come in and help and give federal aid to all these businesses. That's something to note. So Gavin Newsom nor Mayor Bass have asked for the U.S. Small Business Administration to come in and help and calling this an economic disaster. Because they don't care. They want the chaos. They don't care. They're content to let it happen. And if it wasn't for Trump coming in and saying, hey, we're going to put a stop to this, nothing would be done right now. And frankly, I'm hoping any moment now we'll hear that troops are rolling out and they're going to put an end to this, especially with the shootings that are now happening. This needs to stop. We need to kick them out. This is an invasion. You don't believe me? Hang on for 2 more minutes. She says that this isn't just looting. We're going to apply the Hobbs Act. We're treating it as robbery to protect Californians. Because again, Gavin Newsom and these Soros DAs are not going to prosecute. If you loot a store, we're going to charge you with robbery under the Hobbs Act. That carries a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison. Go Bondi. Bondi's team, along with the FBI Director Kash Patel, has launched a thorough investigation of the rogue far-left NGOs that are providing organizational or logistical support for these riots. Equally important is examining whether these NGO-linked color revolutions, Marxists, are being influenced or financed by foreign actors with the intent of destabilizing the nation from within. Yup, this is an invasion. And best of all, relative poll numbers right now showing 20% of Americans are for this. The no and the 40%, what's wrong with you? Again, if you are voting no, that you don't approve with what's happening right now, open up your door, leave it wide open, put a sign on it that says free to a good home, or put nobody home, no guns in here, because you do not care who comes in and destroys your home. If you can do that, then you can vote no on this. If you are voting no on a poll saying no, you don't approve of the National Guard coming and stopping the violence and looting, then you're a hypocrite. You're an absolute hypocrite. So these These are the hardcore liberals and leftists. Liberals, if you still have a soul, I hope you're seeing the hypocrisy right here. So, again, 2 minutes. Still not convinced this invasion. Look at yesterday's stream. We talked about the president of Mexico openly stating these are Mexicans in America. They are not Americans. They are Mexicans. The head of the Senate in Mexico has now come out and publicly displayed an 1830 map of Mexico during a press conference emphasizing that Mexico once held sovereignty over California, Texas, and much of the modern-day U.S. Southwest. That includes Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, and parts of Colorado, if I'm not mistaken. Again, Mexican-American War, you got your butts beat. You sold that territory to us. You don't like it, I'm tough. That's your choice. Y'all sold it to us. We bought it. We own it. Get over it. You want it back? Fight us for it. And apparently they are, because it's an invasion. Per him, we will build the wall and we will pay for it, but we will do it according to the 1830 map of Mexico. So again, it's okay for Mexico to build a wall, not okay for us. Mexicans were settled in these territories before the U.S. The Mexicans living there and are in what has always been their homeland. Once again, these are not Americans. These are Mexicans that need to get the F out. So, your moment of good. Hold on, sorry. Your moment of good. Not you are good, because we're not good. Hundreds of alleged child predators are arrested in Texas. Operation Soteria Shield marks the FBI's second large-scale bust of suspects accused of using internet to sexually victimize children. This is fantastic. They have now caught 244 online sexual predators, and that's not all. They're still going through the evidence, and they're claiming there are going to be more arrests, and more is coming from this. This is fantastic. This is just the tip of the spear. We're taking off the street, and we're not stopping. The FBI is finally doing something under this administration. The last administration were targeting Catholics and Christians and protesters at school boards, where the school board is allowing the sexualization and victimization of children, and the FBI went after the parents who were upset about that. Loudoun County says what? This marks the second month in a row that the FBI has announced large-scale arrests of alleged online predators. Last month, 205 suspects were arrested in a nationwide sweep called Operation Restore Justice. This one was specifically in Texas. They have saved over 109 children, gathered terabytes of illicit data, with additional arrests or identifying victims to probably come soon from the new evidence. Fantastic. So I will sign off today, guys. Let's feed that wood chipper. Let's keep it fed. It's been hungry. It's been starved for the last few years. We need to feed that wood chipper. This is Mouthy signing off.